Last week, I told you about Marcus, a father who goes to every game, every dinner, every bedtime, and somehow isn't there for any of them. His 8-year-old scored the winning goal, and turning to find his face, he was looking at his phone. Not a great place to be. We can see that much. But beyond simply guilting himself saying he'll do better, we need to first understand what's going on under the hood so he's able to catch himself. Let's examine what's going on. But first, if this is your first time to the channel, I'm Phil Shea, Addictions Counselor. I specialize in men who struggle with gambling and video game addiction. Wily problems that slip deeper while you're not looking, starting as a casual hobby and ending up as something that can ruin your life. Marcus isn't there yet though. He's high functioning, but the cracks are beginning to widen. So let's start with some basic facts. Attention is a finite resource. You have a fixed budget per day, and there are varying levels of quality of attention. Every notification, every micro decision, every glance at a screen pulls from the account. And I know I harp on this channel, but it is increasingly true by the day. The gambling industry has spent decades learning how to attach to that attention budget and seduce it to loosen the purse strings. And they've made sure it never feels like a decision at all. They're not competing with your daughter for attention. They're competing with the possibility of you noticing her. When it comes to the small moments in life, the ones that you hold on to for years to come that define this particular era of your life, it's not usually a big staged moment, but rather it's those moments you only caught because your attention was available to grab it. You were there in the moment. Gambling does everything it can to be a black hole of attention, pulling you back in whenever you pull yourself away. Now let's talk about intermittent reinforcement, which is the same slot machine mechanism that I've covered before. But now let's look at it by specifically applying it to your presence. Receiving a live line update every 90 seconds trains your brain to check every 90 seconds, whether they push an update or not. Hell, have you ever forgotten your phone somewhere and keep patting your pocket because you're feeling phantom vibrations? It's a real thing and can often unsettle you when you first notice them. But the long and short of it is that your brain has been conditioned to expect a hit on that schedule, and it will burn through your working memory and executive attention to get one. Think of your executive attention as your brain's air traffic controller. How much would you trust the guy to land the planes if he was checking his phone every 90 seconds? Now apply that to your entire day, your entire life. And let's be clear, you're not consciously choosing to check your phone. You've been trained, Pavlov style, to a schedule that has been not so subtly installed in your nervous system. Next, think about the times where you did successfully put your phone down, mindfully even. Do you notice how your brain is still urging you to check? Like an invisible wire is connecting you and pulling you in that direction? That's your working memory spending resources on holding the bets in mind. You're at dinner with your family, sure, but a sizable chunk of your mind is calculating what the over-under means for your parlay. Your daughter is telling you something about her day, and you're half listening, wondering when your phone will finally update you on how you're doing. In cognitive science literature, this is called attentional residue, which you may have come across in the discourse surrounding task switching. They're related. Whenever you switch tasks, you think you're jumping right into it, but part of your mental machinery is still changing gears, tucking away and processing the things you were just paying attention to. This is how you can be seeing a moment, but not actually processing it. Why you may be lagging in your responses to something someone just said, even though your phone has been tucked away. And every open bet is like a browser tab in your consciousness. You can't be fully present while half your mind is holding on to positions. I'm sure you've had people say, just be more present, as if it isn't something you've been trying to do. Everyone and their dad has dabbled with books about mindfulness, presence, and meditation, at least in recent years. Every article you pick up surrounding these topics will say, put the phone down and look at your kids, touch grass, but it misses the mechanism that keeps the machine running. White-knuckling it can work, but more often than not, every failed attempt can cause you to build a complex about what a loser, a failure, a jerk you are, and the guilt and shame build, which becomes a vicious cycle. And if you've already been through that cycle a few times, promise yourself that you'd be better this weekend, meant it, and still watched it fall apart by Sunday, I want you to hear that the promise wasn't the problem. You were fighting an entire industry with willpower alone. There's a free strategy call linked below. It's 15 minutes, and it's possibly the first conversation where you don't have to pretend you've got it handled. But for now, let's recognize that you're on the receiving end of a huge industry bearing all of its influence down on you through your most intimate device. The final thing I'd like to address is that while children are not the deepest of thinkers, they are aware of emotions and the quality of time people spend with them. The quality of attention is not just in the number of hours physically in the same space. Here's the math a lot of dads follow without noticing. 2 hours of half-present dad feels like it should equal 1 hour of fully present dad. Half the attention, twice the time. It evens out, but it doesn't. Presence doesn't work like that. 2 half-present hours don't add up to a fully present one, because what she's reading isn't how long you were in the room, it's whether she had your attention when she needed it. Presence isn't something you can fake, and it's something people are always reading off of those around them. It's the same reason your partner may have said you've been distant lately, despite you following the same routine. But unlike your partner, your daughter will remember this for the rest of her life, that she had to fight for your attention and that it was so easily lost. Once again, I want to reiterate that this is not a moral failing. It's behavioral conditioning, a well-documented cognitive mechanism operating in your brain against your values. I'm not going to quote a study on this. Instead, I'll just tell you what I've seen more broadly. Nobody decides to become a distracted father. Nobody. They just check their phone enough times that distracted stops being a thing they did and starts being a thing they are. You don't argue your way into an identity, you accumulate one. All this to say, we are what we repeatedly do. The version of you that you're becoming is the one who checks his phone and isn't mentally there for his family. The longer you inhabit that self, the harder it will be to break out of it, but again, it's never too late. It is possible to get back to who you were before the attention vortex began pulling you in. As usual, knowing the mechanism behind these things is the first step. Every problem is first tackled with awareness. Step 2 is the specific moves that shut it down, but even seeing things clear-eyed will help move toward a positive change. That's what I'll be covering next week, the specific moves that shut this thing down, starting with the Saturday in front of you. Though for now, as always, I'm Phil Shea, Addictions Counselor, wishing you a great day.